talking with Robert Green. He's the CEO of Fraser Foods. But more importantly, this is the time of year when kids, your high school senior, is sending out or has sent out his applications and his interest in different schools, and parents help them follow up on their application forms and finding a college for your young person, right, Bob?
It's an exciting time of year, Phil, and my son Ryan, fortunately, has done so well in his high school career that he has gotten interest from a lot of really great schools. We're talking about a young man who scored a 1460 on his SAT. It's a great time, and you want to tell parents that it's tough out there. You got to be prepared for some disappointment. Most of the parents, I guess, but my son is a great kid. I guess you could say that my son thinks outside the box. People need to understand him because he does have such a brilliant mind. For a lot of the parents out there, your kids are not, I guess they're not as quick as my boy is, and it's going to be tougher to find a college.
All right, we're talking about your son Ryan. He gave the finger to his history teacher, right? He just stood up and gave her the finger?
Well, no, but the whole story is that I was telling him after we got some interest in Stanford. We got mail from Stanford. And I don't know how many parents out there can say that their kid got interest from Stanford, but he got interest from Stanford. We've gotten interest from Duke. These are two of the great schools.
But I want to get back to this because your son gave the finger to a history teacher, right?
All right. Let me give you some background on Ryan. Ryan's mother, who I married, obviously, basically deserted him and me when he was very young. And for the last 15 years, Phil, Ryan, it's just been him and I. And so naturally, he has a suspicion of women, which is not his fault. I married the woman that had him. I'm to blame. Remember also, we recognize in our society that there are people who are very special, and you have to take their actions into context. I think Kobe Bryant's an example of that. I think if you look at this brilliant young man, Ted Bundy, who, yes, was a vicious murderer, but he had everything going for him. He thought outside the box. He was unusual. He was different. He was arrested for murder. Do we forgive him? No, we don't. I don't know whether we should or not. I do know that we have these special people.
All right, but let me ask you something. How old is your son?
Ryan is 17. He's going to be 18 in June. And again, we're very fortunate. He's a very gifted young man.
Right. But I know he scored high on his SAT.
He got a 1460, right.
All right. But giving the finger to an adult authority figure is wrong.
Absolutely right.
You agree?
Oh, of course I do, Phil. It is wrong. I told him that. The other great thing about him, he carries a 4.50 GPA with honors, and other kids struggle.
And well, there's a lot of these things when you tell me his SAT score and his GPA, which are very admirable. A 4.5 with honors is outstanding. Does that forgive him flipping off his history teacher?
No, I don't. I think what you need to say, other kids are struggling, and a lot of these kids are jealous of Ryan's intelligence. Let me say this, Phil. I always tell him, always remember you're special and that no one can take that away from you. Even though your mother left us when you were 2 years old, maybe that's why he gave that woman the finger, but it is still wrong. And even though we're talking about a kid who got a 1460, it's wrong that he would give her the flip her the bone. But
how do you discipline him? Did you talk to the teacher about this?
Well, I got on the phone with this woman, Maisie, who he gave the middle finger to, and I said, I understand Ryan gave you the finger. Please understand that Ryan is, as you know, a very gifted and intelligent young boy. If he gave the finger, it stems from the frustration that his mother was really just a tramp. And I've always taught Ryan that women, can be dangerous, and probably he read that the wrong way.
All right, 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. Robert Green, the CEO of Fraser Foods. Your son is a special kid. He's intelligent. But that kind of flaunting of authority, it's wrong. And shouldn't he be given that message clearly? Not the message that you have a GPA of 4.50, not the message that you're special, but that you did something very wrong.
I totally agree, and I think he gets it. But when your mother, ran out and was in bed with, new men.
Have you taught him to hate women, or?
No, I haven't taught him to hate women. I'm simply saying this. My son's a special kid. You're trying to hold him to a standard of other kids. I don't think you can do that. Let me say it again. A 1450 on his SATs, 4.50 GPA. We just got a letter of interest from Stanford. So I don't understand your question, right?
Well, all right, those are impressive things. You know,
his mother was a tramp. I raised that boy from the time he was 2. His mother would sleep with a bush if she thought a snake was in it. And
well, all right, look. This is a bad thing that his mother ran out on you, and you are to be commended that you raised that boy, and I understand. I'm trying to figure out, do you think he should be allowed more leeway with respect to certain behavior because his mother was a tramp and he's a special boy?
In my son's case, we've got letters from Yale, letters from Duke. We got a letter from Caltech 6 days ago. I mean, this is a kid he's on the fast track. I'll give you an example of what you're saying. I don't approve of this.
Well, that's what I want to find out.
Of course I don't. Apparently, Ryan and some other boys a few months ago, they were down near the railroad tracks in Orange, and they roughed up this old woman. It was a lady down there. She was homeless, one of these bag ladies. And
well, you say roughed up?
Well, they beat her pretty good. And I said at the time, Ryan, this is wrong. But I also let the police know that they were dealing with a very intelligent boy who was going to contribute immensely to society. So I let these cops have it pretty good, and I told them about this tramp he had for a mother. And so once I set the cops straight, they shook my hand. And I got Ryan home, and I said, son, you can't do that anymore. And I think he gets it. But he thinks outside the box. He's a different kind of a kid.
Everybody loves their kids, right?
Absolutely.
And everyone believes that their kids are special, correct?
Everyone believes their kids are special, but not everybody is correct in assuming their kids are special. I got, again, maybe you didn't hear me, but I've got...
No, you told me. He's got a 1450 SAT. He's got a...
Well, are you listening to that, or am I just talking to myself?
You're not talking to yourself, sir. I understand that.
Well, you can't just hear a 1450 SAT and a 4.5 and start telling me that he's supposed to act like other kids, or...
Sir, I'm not saying that your boy is not unique. What I'm saying is giving the middle finger.
So he gave her the middle finger. He didn't kill anyone.
But giving the middle finger to a teacher in class. You understand?
I'm still listening to you.
Do you? All right, so this is something that should be forgiven.
The last time I checked, Phil, flipping off a teacher doesn't kill anybody. There's no bloodletting. There's no injury. You're trying to make it sound like Columbine. You know, giving somebody the bone, tossing them a bone ain't Columbine.
How about beating up that old bag lady?
That was wrong. And I told Ryan it was wrong. And he said, I understand now, Dad. But you need to understand, my son has a huge future ahead of him. These things are minor in the big picture. And right now, with all the college letters coming in, I don't know how many people can say their son got a letter from Yale. Mine did. So if we're jealous, we're jealous.
Well, I don't think it's jealousy.
A lot of kids act up.
All right, 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. This gentleman's kid is, like so many kids are looking to apply to colleges. He flipped off his teacher and he beat up a bag lady, but because he's got a 4.50 GPA with honors and a 1450 on his SATs, then, or 1460, I should say, then really you got to give him some leeway. Do we have a need for special people in this society that is so extreme that when they act antisocial, we need to sort of look the other way? 1-800-449-8686 with Robert Greene. He's the CEO of Fraser Foods. His son is Ryan. Very exceptional kid, but he might need some authority training. I don't know. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendry Show. On the line with me is Robert Greene. He's just a parent. He's the CEO of Fraser Foods, but we're talking, I got a young man who is on his way to college, and he is also a young guy who is exemplary. My boy doesn't have the grades your guy has, but he's gotten letters from schools. I know that your son Ryan has gotten letters from Stanford and Duke and all these other things, but the question is this: does this forgive behavior? You know?
Phil, let me put it to you this way. You ever heard of a guy by the name of, maybe you read about it in the newspapers, his name was O.J. Simpson. Yes, he might have committed a violent crime. But we realize that these people are special. The ability that he had as an athlete, I mentioned Kobe Bryant. William Kennedy Smith is another one who has outstanding ability, a great legal mind.
Does that mean he doesn't go to jail?
I didn't say it doesn't mean it doesn't go to jail. I'm saying, do you send an outstanding young man like that away for a long time because he thinks outside of the box? And
well, how do you call rape thinking outside of the box?
It's wrong. But that was his unusual approach to befriending a woman. And
violence is a very unusual approach.
Well, you call it violence, and it is violence, but he didn't know that it was violence. He just wanted her to, I don't know, but these guys are way far ahead of me. They're smarter than I am. And that's what I'm saying about my son.
Who beat up a homeless woman.
Well, he did it with 3 other boys, so you can't single him out.
All right, so 4 guys beat up a homeless woman. 1-800-449-8686. Linda, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendry Show.
Hi, am I on right now?
Right now, ma'am. Yes, go ahead. You're on with Robert
great.
Green.
Listen, I cannot believe what an idiot father you are. Okay?
Well, if you want to call people names, ma'am, I haven't called you a name.
Well, I don't really care. Listen, I am a mother of 3.
I'm just trying to be a
for
good
you
father.
to sit there and
tramp of a mother walked out on him.
For you to sit there and say that O.J. Simpson, what he did was okay, and for you to say what your son did was okay, I can understand why your son's doing this, because you must be the worst figure of a father there is. I don't care how smart your son is.
I stayed with the boy. His mother walked out on him. All right, this tramp that I married, she was a dancer, and it was my mistake. It was my mistake. But I stayed with that boy.
That's no excuse. No matter, I understand that your son is intelligent, and I think that's wonderful. But your son is no different than any other human being on this planet. If he pulls a crime, he's got to pay the time. Okay? He can pay the time and then go to college. But you know what? If he's that smart, he wouldn't have done this kind of crime. He obviously has no common sense.
Why should he trust women when his tramp mother...
You keep calling her a tramp, sir. Was she sleeping around?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Who cares?
All right, but I mean...
Oh, who cares? Well,
yeah.
I tell you what, when your husband does that to you, you tell me whether you care or not. I can tell you it burns. It burns worse than any kind of venereal disease you've ever had.
Okay, are we talking about you, or are we talking about your son's problem?
Well, we're talking about well, it was his mother. It was his mother.
Okay,
Don't you call that his problem?
Phil.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Listen, I'm a listener on your show, and I
Yes,
gotta
ma'am.
tell you, the last 3 or 4
My
shows
son
that
has
I've
been scarred
listened
by
to...
that tramp of a mother, and I work very hard to warn him about women.
Are you running the show, or is the
Well, what are
host
you doing? You're
running
talking
it?
to I'm the guest.
No, I want to talk to Phil. Okay,
I understand that, but I'm the guest.
last 3 nights
and you're
that you
supposed
had
to
the most
address
idiotic
my
people on it, I can't believe
calls.
they're real people. Are these
I don't know what
guys
the
even
point of
real?
what you're saying, ma'am. What I'm trying to do is we're at a time of the year when kids are applying for college. And their SATs and their GPAs.
Well, she doesn't get it. Have you been to college, ma'am?
Okay, you know what,
Yeah,
sir?
see?
Yes, I have.
All
And
right,
can I tell you something?
And I have a son who is very
I have a
exceptional.
feeling that you're not the father of this child because you're too stupid for him to have an IQ that high.
I'll tell you what, you can insult me all you want, but you should talk to his mother, who's probably laying on a mattress someplace in a shooting gallery.
Well, good for her. It's probably better than being with someone as ignorant as you.
Just like you women to run out on your kids.
All right,
I have 3 children, and I'm married. I've been married for 16 years.
16
and it doesn't
years?
matter. My
16
children,
years with the same guy?
if my son did the same thing your son did, I think he deserves to be punished. You don't go beat up
I didn't say
a bad lady.
you don't get punished. I told him it was wrong.
Well, is that all you did?
He's an intelligent boy. Man, I bet you see a bus go through town and you dream about hopping on and leaving your kids and getting out, getting anywhere, getting all the way to the FBI.
To the FBI?
Yeah, you know, big
would you
career.
pull that one out of a cloud?
A big
I mean,
career.
what sense did that make?
Getting all the way to a big career. Don't you dream about having a big career?
I don't know. What was your IQ level
do you
when
just-
were tested?
Or do you just have a big rear? See? Yeah. See, I can laugh after the tramp left me, and after...
Well, look, I'm going to make this point, and it's been made before. You sound as if you've got an issue with women, and it sounds like you passed it on to your son.
I passed it on to my son. The tramp walked out on him.
Okay, stop making
All right,
excuses
okay.
for yourself.
And Linda, you know, what's your point, okay? 16 years, so what? You still live with your kids?
Yes, I have 3 children.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
My point
All right.
is your son deserves to pay for the crime he did, to learn something from it. And if he doesn't pay the crime, that crime will get more serious
Read
and more
my
serious.
lips. 4.5 GPA with honors, 1460 SATs. Sorry if your kid can't even come up to half of that.
All
oh,
right.
so did Manson. So did Manson. Does that mean he should have got off?
Manson? You got his
Oh,
GPA
yeah.
in front of you?
Manson's a very
All right.
intelligent man.
Okay, thanks, Linda. I got to move on. Manson?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Manson. Oh, no, I said Manson.
Oh, you're right. You said it. Let me go to 1-800-449-8686. Albert, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendry Show. Albert?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
I'm talking to the guy that's on the phone. Sir, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm in the same situation you are. I have 5 kids. I don't have their mothers and stuff, but that doesn't give you no right to sit there and talk about the kid's mother. You don't know if that kid is listening to you. You are setting that kid up for failure. That kid is going to be a failure. I don't care how many SATs that kid passed. I don't care how much GPA that kid has. If he's out there doing stuff like he's doing right now, he's going to be behind bars.
Albert, what were your SATs?
Hold up. No, let me
was your
say it
GPA?
and then I'll listen to you. I'm a good listener just
4.0?
like you are.
All right, let the man
I waited
finish.
an hour to talk to you because you are setting that kid up for failure, and you sound like the same thing that kid is. So what that lady did that.
You know, are you sure your name is Alberta?
Discuss, you don't come and drag the lady down because that's what she did to
Well,
you.
that's exactly
you just
what she did.
You just a scorned man because
let me ask
you
you this.
got dumped.
Don't you
She
think
probably
Kobe
dumped you for
Bryant's
a
special?
good reason.
Wait a minute,
She
gentlemen.
dumped you for a good reason.
Hold on.
And now the whole point is you can't even understand
right.
that you're hurting your own son.
Now, let's have a dialogue here.
Stuff.
Hold
now,
on.
you say what you have to
All
say.
right, let's have a dialogue here.
Hold on, Phil. I just want to say, Albert, to you, a 4.5 is probably a high jump. And
Now, what is that supposed to mean?
No, that's the problem
let's
his
see,
son
yeah,
has
yeah.
right now. That's his problem his son has. He should be. If I was him, I would have took
That's
my
not a
belt off
figure
and I would
skating
have whooped
sport,
my
you know,
son's butt. That's
All right.
what I would have
Well,
done.
I think that's entirely appropriate.
I would ask Albert, you know who Kobe Bryant is, okay? All right, so he raped
Yes,
this
I
girl.
do.
All right, so maybe he raped this girl. Do you think he should go away for 20 years? No,
if
he's
he
a
raped
special
that girl,
guy.
if he raped that girl, he should go away for as many years as he deserves.
Now what are the
Because you
Lakers gonna
cannot
do?
go around forcing nobody to do nothing
Now,
that
what
they
are the
shouldn't
Lakers
want
going to
if
do
they
without
don't
him?
want to do.
What are the Lakers do without him, though?
Who cares
Who
what the
cares about the damn Lakers?
Well, see, you don't get it about special people, then.
I get it about special people because I'm special myself, okay?
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah.
How big was the bus you used to ride to
I don't
school?
run
All right.
around putting my kids up on a pedestal that's going to fall and make them hurt themselves. You know what? It's not the kid, it's you. You put that kid to
Albert,
do that.
a 4.5
It's your fault.
isn't a diving score, okay? And
All right. Albert, thank you for your call, sir. Good
Thank
points.
you.
Thank you. 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. This kid's SATs are high. Does it forgive him beating up a bag lady? Mr. Green, Robert Green is with us. Your son has a 4.5. I understand that. Your son has a 1460 SAT. I understand that.
well, you're saying it like it's no big deal.
But you're telling me he flipped off a teacher. He was involved in beating up a bag lady. He was involved in pistol whipping a woman, tying her up and taking her car on a joyride. These things are dangerous crimes.
I do not deny that at all, Phil. I'm not saying that they're not dangerous, and I'm not saying that they're not should not be punished. But when I say that, then you turn around and you just let 1460 SAT go in one ear and out the other.
No, I don't, sir.
Well, yes, I think you do. And a 4.5 with honors. And also a tramp for a mother. And I've been married 3 times since his mother left. They've all left the boy and me. Why? Because they don't like Ryan. They say he scares them because he's intelligent and he's being wooed by Yale. And these women are all resort trash and casino trash.
Sir, has it occurred to you that maybe you shouldn't marry casino trash?
These are mistakes I've made, yes, absolutely. But a man sits at a table, a man has a gin and tonic, he gets it from a very friendly young cocktail waitress who he begins to talk to. She seems to have the same interests as he does. and nature takes its course. You blame my son for that? I don't think it's right.
1-800-449-8686. Here's Chris. Chris, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendry Show.
Sir, I think that
Yes, ma'am.
your son does definitely think out of the box, and but he thinks in a different box, in a different frame of reference. It sounds to me that you have some real bad energy about women because of his mom, and you've passed this on to your son. No normal child.
Well, not just his mother, but the four wives I've had.
You're not letting me talk.
The four wives I've had. Well, I've had 4 wives, so don't just say one woman.
Yeah, but you're saying you're calling his mother, his birth mother, the woman that's his biological mother, a tramp. You have conditioned him to think this way. The things that he has done to women are horrible. I don't care what kind of an SAT score he gets. I don't care what kind of grades he gets. If he cannot function in society because he does those types of things, then he's not going to be a healthy, happy individual.
Right.
I have a daughter that's in college. I've been married for 20 years to the same man, to a great relationship, a great marriage. We
So
support
you're calling
each
up
other.
to tell me how much better you are than me. That's fine.
No, what I'm saying is it didn't matter about my daughter's SAT score. She didn't have a 4.5, and she didn't
But
have
here's the
14.
thing. That
Listen
you're missing,
to me.
You're missing
Listen
this.
to me.
You're missing. J. Edgar Hoover wore a dress.
I don't
J. Edgar
care.
Hoover wore a dress, and because he wore a dress, you would not want him to be the head of the FBI.
I wouldn't
No.
care about that if he wore a dress or if he whatever he did. I don't care what his sexual preference is or what he does. I don't care what your sexual preference is, as long as you are kind to people and kind to women.
Wearing a
It sounds
dress?
to me, sir, that you do not know what you're doing with women, and you have passed this on to
All
your
right.
son.
I can tell you've had a cocktail.
Pardon me?
You've had a cocktail this evening. You sound like
I don't
the woman
drink.
that...
I do not drink, and you.
Well,
need
you're
to stop
talking
being-
like this. You have the thought that there's a little bit of a slur going on.
You
You
know
know,
what, sir?
oh,
You're in
boy.
your mind. I don't drink. I'm a logical and a rational person who heads a very big organization in San Francisco, and I think you need to look at yourself and what you're
Oh,
doing.
here we go. A big organization in San Francisco.
Tell me, what do you do, sir?
Lesbians and, what is this, a lesbian deal? Because
First
Hold
of all,
on for a minute.
You commented on the man before. You were a racist to him. Now you're a sexist
Oh,
to me.
everybody's racist
I'm
to you guys in San
heterosexual. I'm
Francisco.
married. You know what?
Oh, you hate being called a lesbian, so you hate lesbians. Is that it? See, that's
Watch your language, ma'am.
Well, she's
I don't
from
care.
San Francisco. She just, all those lesbians talk that way. And the idea that this lady would...
Hold on for a minute. She said she didn't care?
She said the F word, and then she said she didn't care.
You heard that.
Yes, I heard it.
All right, well, don't say it like you're a kid.
Well, you going to hang up on her?
Yes, I'll hang up on her because she used a dirty word. But
But that drunk said...
she says she doesn't drink.
She sounds just like three of the 4 ex-wives that I've got. They say, they're coming home. And stuff like that. And the boy would hear it on the speakerphone. And I'd always put my hands over the boy's ears. I'd say, son, she's a woman. That's the way they all talk. You want to have sex? That kind of stuff. Used to make me vomit.
All right, let's go to Nam Young. Nam Young, hello. You were on the Phil Hendry Show with Bob Green.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Nam Young. How are you?
Yeah, fine. How are you?
Good, man.
I just want to say to you.
Are you Chinese?
No, I am a Korean American.
Yes,
I've been
ma'am.
living in the United States for 27 years, and also I travel around the world and lived in many countries. I just would like to say to
And
you.
you leave a lot of countries, did you say, ma'am? I didn't hear you.
She's
Yeah, I
lived in a
used
lot
to.
of countries.
Yes,
All right.
my husband was a diplomat. I have 2 sons, but I just like to say to you,
Yes, ma'am.
you still have a chance to teach your son, which is right and wrong, and especially he is so smart. Please
Yeah.
don't waste him.
Well, it's a good point. Listening to you, Nam Young, it reminds
It
me...
is nothing wrong to tell him when he do wrong. You let him know he did it wrong. Just like you know your
Right.
wife was something wrong, and when your son is doing wrong, you should let him know he did the wrong thing. And
That's
also, when
some-
he do the right things, you encourage him he do, he
when I
do the right thing.
when I listen to you, it reminds me... Ever see that Kung Fu deal? And the guy would always say, hey, grasshopper, yeah.
Will you stop it already? The lady's making a very, very good point.
I know he did the wrong
I am
know he did the
I am
wrong
a
thing.
martial. Yeah, I am certified martial art instructor too. But English is my second language, but it doesn't
You're
matter
kidding.
when it's a right and wrong. It doesn't matter.
Right,
There's
right.
no boundaries,
You want me to let him know when he's wrong.
When he's
Yes,
wrong.
of course, especially the people I love. I'm going to let them know when they do wrong things. I'm going to let them know why they did the wrong thing.
You know one of the things that I
Because
find
I love
fascinating?
them.
You know the things
If I
I find...
didn't love them, I didn't
Of
care.
course. One of the things I find fascinating when I meet Asian people is that their mouths are still moving after they stop talking. And you see that on movies.
Okay, you being a smartass?
No, sir.
Well, what does that mean?
When you see an Asian movie.
It's dubbed in English.
That's why the mouth moves even when they stop talking?
Yeah.
Sir, I'm proud of...
I haven't kissed a woman without the stench of vodka permeating her jowls for many, many years, Sam Young. And that's why I guess I've turned my son off to women, because, frankly, they drink. And they drink heavily. Now, you sound like a responsible woman, but then you're not born of this country. You were born in a very respectful society, the Korean society. American women, they drink and they breathe clam juice all over you.
No, you're wrong, sir.
Well,
I lived in the United States 27 years.
I wasn't fortunate enough to marry a Korean woman. I should have.
I see a lot of American women are nice too. I mean, it's just good and bad is everywhere, no matter where you go.
That red wine will make you nice for about an hour. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me ask you something. Do you guys eat that pickled cabbage?
Oh, come on, man.
Yes, I do.
I love it.
And I love them. I love them.
Can I ask you a question?
But would you do me a
Do you guys
favor?
eat dog?
Pardon me?
Nothing.
Go ahead,
Dogs?
Nam.
Yeah, some countries eat them,
Okay.
but I know they're wrong.
It is wrong. It's
Right?
as wrong as breathing
Yeah.
clam juice on a man.
And that's wrong,
Eating
but why
dogs.
don't you know when your son is doing wrong?
Exactly. Good
Especially
point.
the one you love
Help
more.
that boy now so that when this antisocial behavior of his if you keep empowering him, he'll
Exactly.
turn into like Lex Luthor or something. He'll turn into
Like a criminal mastermind?
yes, something like that.
Nam Young, you have, as an Asian woman, when Asian women drink, they sing songs from South Pacific. When a white woman drinks, she's on a pool table. I wish I'd married a Korean woman when she sings, I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair. Oh, I'm going to wash that man,
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah?
When you socialize with the people,
Yeah.
maybe you need to close your eyes so you can see that's Asian
It's a good
or
point.
Western or European or something,
Well, I
it doesn't matter.
just find Asian women more beautiful and respectful than any other woman I've ever met. And
Thank you very much, but I tell you what.
When I say
because
meow,
I'm
do I
Asian,
remind you of dinner? I'm just curious.
All right.
As an Asian woman's eyes, when I came to this country, and I look at the American woman, and they are great. You know why?
But they can't sit there and
They
and
take
go,
care of the home.
"Valley
This is from
calling."
my eyes, where I'm looking at the American woman, okay?
How can you look at a lot of times you guys look like your eyes are closed, but they're not.
You have
See,
to
that's
look
the
at the
beautiful
good
thing.
side, too.
Right.
You have to look at the good side. They take care of
Exactly.
the home, cleaning house,
Yep.
and they also go to work
Well, they're filthy
and
too,
come
American
home.
women.
They take care of you.
I think Korean women are intelligent, educated, and keep a hell of a house. And on top of everything else, after an intimate evening with cocktails and beautiful romance, they can go, Valley High is calling. So to me, why didn't I marry a Korean woman? It'll forever be the bane of my existence. But I thank you for calling. I want to go and just be alone with my thoughts. I've got a cigar. I got a Cuban cigar I want to smoke. Nah, I can't take it anymore.
You want your son to be success, and I think you got a wonderful son. But please, try to teach him.
All right, listen, Nam Young, thank you.
Thank you. I hope he got the message.
I think he did, and you were very kind in giving it. 1-800-449-8686. Mr. Green? Mr. Green, are you there, sir?
Oh, yeah, right here. Ryan, where's the DVD for South Pacific? Hello?
Get out of here.
Oh, Valley High.
Get out of here. 1-800-449-8686.
I like how you lock out all your bits with get out of here. It's a real punchline, isn't it?
Oh, well, get a load of you. What, the theater critic?
I'm doing a cover story for the LA Weekly.
1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendry Show.